Have you given yourself the unfortunate chance to watch cartoons that have been made recently? If you're in your 20s, 30s, or even in your 40s, I'm sure you'll agree that the quality of these cartoons, the writing and everything, has gone downhill. Because in the 80s and the 90s, cartoons were simply amazing. When I was younger, and if you're old enough to remember, there used to be this amazing thing called Saturday morning cartoons. A lot of these shows were on Fox Kids, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network. I mean, we're talking about shows like Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman the Animated Series, The Tick, SpongeBob, like the original good episodes, Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Courage the Cowardly Dog, all that type of stuff. Batman Beyond, another great show. And X-Men, the animated series from the 90s, is getting a reboot, which is one of the reasons that I want to talk about the subject. Shows used to be funny when they were original, but their newer content doesn't quite add up to what it used to be. And honestly, the list of shows goes on and on of what used to be great, and it could be stacked up to nostalgia. Those shows used to be cleverly written, and the animation was really funny and unique for every show. I mean, they were different. They weren't just the same thing. Like, you look at some shows now and it's like you can tell the studio that animated it, and it's just like, this looks the same as the last cartoon I watched. And what was unique about those shows at the time when I was a kid and when I was watching them was what my parents would watch them, or when they were forced to watch them with me as a kid. They would actually laugh and they enjoyed the content that was in the cartoons, because the cartoons weren't just made for kids. They were made for everyone to enjoy. And my parents even liked it so much that back when we used VHSs and would record TV off those or on those, they would record hours of Saturday morning cartoons, 90s commercials included. They would watch them and I would watch them. And it was just something that everybody enjoyed, everybody could quote and actually share in. It's not like the cartoons that I've been watching with my son. But in recent years, companies and creators have tried to bring back older cartoons to try to grab the attention of the people that used to watch them, and also bring in new people that they think would be interested in those type of cartoons, or that they think that they could create a new type of subject that those cartoons didn't once explore. What really made me want to do this type of thing, this type of video, was the X-Men trailer, which I know that came out a little while ago at this point. When I first saw that trailer, it genuinely looked good. I mean, the animation styles looked like the old animation styles just enough that it made me want to watch it. Now, we'll see what it's like. Other shows that come to mind that they've been doing that with was Scooby-Doo and the He-Man reboot. When I bring up the Scooby-Doo reboot, I think most people they already know about it. I mean, most people, if they haven't watched it, which I haven't watched it. I wasn't interested in it. Just reading the stuff on the internet and other people that I actually trust that have watched it, it's not something I would ever be interested in watching at this point. Velma was later ranked by several publications as one of the worst television series of 2023. And then audience reception to Velma has been overwhelmingly negative. Sorry, can't read. It became one of the lowest rated television shows on IMDb, receiving similar low scores from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes and Google. That doesn't give you much hope for reboots. And then other than reboots, we have continuations of shows that have never actually stopped, like SpongeBob. SpongeBob used to be very memorable, quotable, very funny, original show. It was so popular that it freaking swept the nation with advertisements. It was on everything. I mean, boxes, school lunch boxes. It was on mac and cheese. It was, everything was SpongeBob. At one point, you couldn't go to a store without seeing some sort of SpongeBob merchandise. It was kind of ridiculous. And sadly, the show has fallen pretty far. I've watched a recent episode, and I really wish I didn't, because it ruined how I felt about the show before, which is not fair to the the first episodes that were made in first seasons. I was talking to somebody about that show, and they said occasionally there are some funny moments and some funny episodes. So I can't say that it's not ever funny anymore. But if you would watch the original seasons, every episode had something funny in it. Every episode was funny, but happily, good cartoons still exist. Most of these cartoons are geared towards more of a mature audience. So we're talking about shows like Rick and Morty. We're talking about Futurama. We're talking about Bob's Burgers. And then we're talking about other shows that aren't quite as mature, like Regular Show and Adventure Time. And those shows capture what was great about some of those older cartoons. Now, to get me to this other point, I have a kid of my own now, just like my parents once had me and had to watch my shows. I now have to watch my son's shows. And simply, some of these shows are unwatchable. Don't get me wrong, I know that these shows are made and geared towards very little kids, but my God, they could try harder. And while I'm saying this, there's actually one show that is very redeemable among piles of poop that are on TV now, and that's Bluey. Bluey is actually, if you take the time to watch it, because when I first saw it on TV, I was like, oh, here comes another dumb show. It's actually cleverly written, and the dialogue, if you pay attention to some of the things the parents are saying, is actually worth listening to. The subject matter works not just for kids, but it works for adults, and it's not annoying. The show has got some genuinely funny moments, especially if you're a parent, or even if you're just an adult that is around, nephews or whatever, and you have to watch that with them. You actually enjoy this cartoon, Bluey, more than the other shows that are on TV right now. And to put it in perspective, when I was a kid, we had shows for young audiences too, for very young audiences. We had Rugrats, The Magic School Bus, Captain Planet. Now kids have shows like Cocomelon, Mini Force, and Spidey and His Amazing Friends. If you take a depressing moment and watch Cocomelon, you'll be forced to watch horrible animation and songs that feel like they're made to hypnotize you. Mini Force is just like a really dumbed down version of the Power Rangers. Spidey and His Amazing Friends, it's okay, but when I was a kid, I used to watch Spider-Man punch Green Goblin in the face, and now you have Green Goblin and he sounds like this and he looks like this.
They'll have to try harder than that.
It's not good.
I am not enjoying this.
Cartoons and kids movies in general used to have like creepy moments, like genuinely creepy moments, and scary villains. The wolf, the Black Wolf in The Neverending Story, creepy. And the animation of Venom and Carnage in the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s. Goosebumps, the organ episode in Invader Zim. That naughty guy in Courage the Cowardly Dog who wanted to shave Courage. Also very, very creepy. And then you just have a lot of moments in Batman Beyond. But now we get this. And don't get me started on YouTube Kids and YouTube Families and those stupid shows that are on there, because I've been forced to watch those too. Some of the worst plots and horrible dialogue and acting that you could ever watch, but I'll save that for another time. It's just interesting to me that cartoons used to put in effort to make these shows that were memorable, quotable, and that they wanted to last forever. And now what it seems like is you have these shows that just kind of poop out episodes or poop out series that they lack in quality. And all I can hope for is that we'll get back to a time where children's shows are available that are good for everybody to watch and that everybody will enjoy, just like when I was younger and how my parents felt about the shows that I used to watch. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully, we can have that type of content everywhere once again.